Rick, maybe we could talk about tautog fishing a little bit and where you like to target tautog, but also maybe 2 or 3 tips for anglers.
Sure. Well, my favorite spot is wrecks when they move out into the deeper water. Second favorite is jetties, where we use the new blackfish jigs, relatively new. And then reefs, of course, where they hold. And areas that aren't fished as hard as western Long Island Sound. I've actually moved my boat to the east in Clinton, Connecticut, and it's great structure in the Clinton-Westbrook area.
So when you're fishing jetties, what do you like to do? You like to get right up on top of that jetty, right over the structure as close as you can to
right at the base of the wall.
Right at the base of the wall.
If you have an open boat, say a Mako type boat, you can run the boat up with your bow, actually get out of the boat and put a strap on the rocks, and then release it. You know, if you have water there. If you get there at low tide, then you have to keep adjusting that because the strap will go underwater. Boats like mine that have a cabin, we back our boats up. We have a piece of rope with a piece of metal that'll rust, or a piece of bendable metal like rebarb, and we back the boat right up to the jetty, throw that piece of metal with the rope. We used to use 2x4s, but they stay in the rocks forever. Throw that in, catch it, it'll catch immediately, then pull up on your anchor until you're maybe, depending on the wall you're fishing, 5 to 10 feet away from that actual breakwater.
And so the thought there is to right at the base of that column, that's where you want to be.
Correct.
Okay, great. And now, any strategies for wrecks in particular, or you just...
A wreck anchor is absolutely a must. Using a regular anchor, you're going to lose that anchor. We lose wreck anchors also. What's
a wreck anchor like?
Well, it's rebarb.
Okay.
It's, it looks like a giant bunker snagger.
I'm with you. Okay.
But, And some of them have the lead like a bunker snagger. But when you go to pull that out, the metal's going to bend. They temper it specially, and you can bend that back with a piece of like tubular copper that the plumbers use. Great. So you can bend that out or in that way.
Now you mentioned using jigs, which are becoming more popular for blackfish. Could you share a little bit your experience with them? Do you use them sometimes or all the time, or when do you use a jig versus the traditional rig with the drop sinker?
Well, in shallower water, like your ideal conditions are the breakwaters, when the tide isn't ripping hard, we're using a lighter jig. And with the Asian crabs that are now around, it's perfect for the jigs.
So you're tipping that on the jig?
Correct.
The jig with that. Yeah.
Or a piece of green crab, but the green crab tends to fall off like a hermit crab. The Asian crab will stay right on that jig. The lighter the jig, the better. They'll just suck it right in. I don't do that good out in deep water with the heavy jigs. I prefer a sinker and a hook in those conditions. And if the tide is really moving to the east, in your area, say, or Fisher's Island area, a sinker slide, fish finder, a sliding rig, barrel swivel, and a snelled hook. I like using the smaller, like Gamakatsu or laser sharpened octopus hooks, and maybe a 10-inch leader. And that way you can keep dropping back in a heavy current.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you very much.